One of the hardest things about being an international space librarian is keeping all the books in the room, because in space there's no gravity, and so they want to fly off the shelves, and not in a kind of like a demand for way. There's not people trying to buy them or book them out. They just literally want to fly off the shelves because they don't really have any gravity and they don't need to stay there. So that's quite tricky. Someone once asked me about the Dewey Decimal System, and I'm not entirely sure what that is, but in space we just have a system where we intellectually and telepathically know where the books are, because we're so psychologically, intellectually, spiritually, and existentially sort of advanced, and we can just intuit where anything is at any given point in time, which does lead me to the point of why is there a need then to have an international, intergalactic space librarian? Well, because there are certain individuals that are able to pervert the natural laws of space and time and can conceal very valuable books, and so that's where I come in. So I have to travel to the darkest corners, the darkest recesses of space, to track down these despicable characters and to retrieve the treasure troves of knowledge that they've sequestered and taken unjustly, selfishly kept them from the wider population, which is who they should be shared with, really. So that's my job. It's not easy, but I have got some great tools. I've got a portal, an intergalactic portal watch, which is just wicked for getting me, zipping me in, zipping me back out of a dodgy situation, a little bit like a jump jet, but way more effective and so much smaller. I can literally wear it on my wrist. I've also got a ray gun, which is wicked. It's kind of like a stun gun. It doesn't kill. It's designed to just debilitate temporarily. It's also has this effect of, have you ever eaten a really hot curry and the next day how badly it makes your bum sting? It does have that effect, but I feel like that's just a little added what's the word, not an incentive, the opposite of that, discouragement, really. Don't steal books, otherwise you're basically going to get a red hot poker up your ass. That's kind of what it does. What else have I got? Well, I've got a sort of standard issue translator. That's quite handy. So when you have to use your intergalactic portal to get onto a different planet or star system, language is a barrier. So I've got my trusty translator. That's really useful. Can be a little bit difficult just pinning down exactly what channel it should be on, but usually get there. And typically the bartenders, common in it, gin and tonic, standard language really. Well then, thank you very much. So yeah, it's pays bills really. I've got to have a lodger. Don't really like him. He's a very strange little worm man. Don't really know where he's going to be, where he's going to be. He just sort of turns up in different forms as well and different times, but it's really, it isn't a problem, but it keeps some strange company, and it's always a bit challenging, isn't it, when you've got to lay down those sort of rules. I did put it onto the Sparrow.com international intergalactic, preferences, probably maybe just one partner at a time. This guy's kind of, it's a species thing anyway. It's very difficult trying to keep 10 little worm characters happy, and the noise, it's challenging. Luckily, interdimensional portal watch, I can just zip myself out of there to a very calm, quiet little planet, Bahumidar. It's lovely, all beaches really, and you can just float over the water. Anyway, I've been gabbling on, but ultimately my message here is, if you've got any books that are overdue, please bring them back. Otherwise, I'm going to have to come and shoot you, and you are going to have a red hot poker up your ass. So Let's avoid that. Just bring them in. Let's have an armistice. Let's just say, you know, anyone can bring in a library book in the next 2 months. We'll just, it's all is well. All is forgiven. Bring it in. It's going to save me a lot of time, really. Even though I've got the watch, it would be quicker if you just brought it back, and you won't have to suffer the chili bum. So, love you lots. Bye for now.